Thank us, and we're welcome. I thank each and every one of you for tuning in, and I thank all of us for coming together. This is indeed a culminating moment, and it comes with no surprise, not to me anyhow. Um, this is something that we have been preparing for a long time in our time, and it is now occurring. It is now happening. This is just one wave of this magnificent event that we are experiencing here on Earth. I'm sure that each and every one of us here has an awareness of the general idea of the shift that is occurring here now. There's this deep feeling constantly in humanity that something really magnificent is going on, significant. For some, it's very scary, very threatening. For others, it's just really insignificant, not much really. And for some, it's something that we've been waiting for a long time and preparing for. It's just that we didn't know exactly how it will occur, but we knew it's inevitably going to occur. It's just one of those moments, and here we are. Life is becoming increasingly a catalyst here now. It's no longer just passive. It's now accelerating, and something that we have not been aware of has been all along since we stepped foot on this planet in the first experiments with these instruments that we're wearing, the human vehicles. It was all a part of a cosmic, universal family project. And since we stepped foot here on this planet, this process has been underway. And there is this force that has been watching us all along and has been very quiet. And it was learning all along from our experiences. And now it's beginning, for the first time in the history of this place, it's beginning to make itself known for what it truly is in this world. And we've all had glimpses, we've all prayed to it, we've all wanted it, asked and begged or commanded. But now it's moving into action here in this world. On the other hand, there is this force that from the beginning was controlling this world. And these two forces are now colliding. These two forces are now fusing together and are dancing together in this world, in our world. And that creates all kinds of weird things, because that has never been occurring on this planet before. Again, we're not going back to normal. Things will not go back to normal because we are co-creating a new normal. And this new normal is unknown. And this unknown force is now shaking the foundations of this structure, of this system here. The old system is breaking down, indeed. Inevitably, it is dissolving for a new system to stand and replace it. And in between these two systems, in between these two paradigms, we are 1 foot in the old one and 1 foot in the new one. And the more flexible we are, the more comfortable and at peace we're going to feel in between these two worlds. As we are stretching our legs, it can come all the way into a split. We have to train ourselves to become ballerinas right now, because this dance is intense, and there is a belief system in us that these two could never be together and work together. In fact, we were so programmed to think that way that we constantly tried to separate the two. And shall I say three? Yeah. You know, there are cosmic forces, there are extraterrestrial forces, and there are terrestrial forces involved in this dance. But to make it more intelligible for the human mind, let's talk about two forces. The one force is the force that is a sleeping dreamer. It's a force that is lost to its essence. It is a force that is infested wholly and absolutely in survival. It is a force that believes in the supremacy of the mind and therefore practices mind over matter, and is also very keen and clever in the ways of mind control. And this force is the ego force. This is the force that controlled the planet all along. This is the force that was controlling this planet since the beginning of stepping foot here. I know that might stretch some minds, but that is, again, this is my perspective. This is my perspective. This is the information that comes through me. Okay? As someone who has found access directly into my sovereign soul, I am channeling nothing but my own true sovereign self. I'm not channeling any other intelligence outside of myself. Okay. So this is not a channeling from some entity on some higher dimension. This is a channeling from the multidimensional entity that I am, the sovereign entity that I am, that lives on all levels of existence. This is where this information is flowing from into the human. It goes through my filtering and it goes through my interpretation. And so in that, of course, it has to step down into languages of this world to be intelligible for the human mind. Because otherwise, it's going to miss the point. The point is that I can translate the information I'm receiving on a higher octave of vibration into lower octaves of vibrational frequencies and languages that are understandable by the human, like words, like sounds, like music, like poetry, like movement, and other forms of expression in this medium of communication. But what's important to understand here right now for me, and what I wanted to share with you a little bit about, if that will create some clarity, perhaps, or will help a little bit in putting it in perspective. This coronavirus is a result of the relationship of humanity with life. And it is very important to look at it because we have a relationship with life. And if we push life to a corner, then life will respond. And I feel that this is one of those responses. On another, more expansive sphere, this manifestation is giving us a tremendous opportunity. I mean, look at us. We're connecting through this beautiful technology right now, which is why this technology is here. And something very important that I wanted to convey is that there is those that believe that because we are walking towards a reunion, then it's important to go out there physically and connect and share. And it is true. It is very true. But it is very important to understand that any manifestation in the physical reality is stepping down through a full spectrum of vibrational frequencies. It has to first establish itself in consciousness and then in energy, and then step down in its divine descension into the physical, three-dimensional, five-sensory manifestation. If we run amok physically and just investing everything in going out there to try to connect physically, and we forget about being where we are and going within and do our inner integrations and open up our inner channels and resensitize our inner channels so we can increase and empower our transmissions of higher octaves of vibrational frequency. If we're not busy in our own space, in our own ways, in inviting, invoking, and reclaiming our sovereign soul to enter into our human on a higher capacity and to come forth and to guide and to lead this force, we might run into some major obstacles and difficulties and blockages on the way because we are running ahead of ourselves a little bit. If we are not establishing a strong, new, energetic field to back up our physical actions, then this is not working in our favor. And I strongly feel and sense and believe that this moment right now is giving us this opportunity. Instead of running and trying to physically go and connect, which we're doing and we will continue to do, this will be over and we will see each other physically again, and we will hug again, and we will collaborate, and we will co-create, and we will continue. However, this gives us an opportunity to reset, to recalibrate, to redefine, to reconfigure, to reform our inner energetics, to dissolve old energy, to bring forth within ourselves before it comes to the physical, on a spiritual, mental, and emotional levels, to reorganize our compositions energetically so we can vibrate energetically on a frequency that then our actions will naturally follow, so that it's backed up with the appropriate energy. And pay attention, guys, this is very important. And it's learning from our experience, because there is a lot of attempts that are wonderful and with great intent, and something is missing there. And there is an attempt or a group that are going and working on something or on a project and wondering why it's going so slow or why things are not happening and not manifesting. Well, this is one of those reasons. Life is now catalyzing us to stay in our homes, not because it wants to separate us, but because it wants us to establish ourselves, to tap deeper into our inner fountains, into our inner rivers and oceans of energy, and to expand the connection with our beloved source from within, and to expand our heart portals and vortexes, to spin it stronger within ourselves, to build new causal energy within our consciousness, that when this will be over and we will go back out physically as well to connect and to co-create and to move with it, it will be backed up by an unexhaustible repository of wisdom, of energy, of consciousness. There is tremendous willingness here in this world, and a tremendous need and a great scream and request and prayer to be liberated, to be united, to live in a world of peace and harmony and gentleness and tenderness. However, there is a process that needs to be done. And each and every one of us has a responsibility here. We have to start to tap into, we have to start to listen and to listen deep. We have to start to learn to observe and to observe in allowance, to learn to access into our formless identity, where our sovereign, immortal self is dwelling ever so quietly and ever so beautifully, just observing and calling us right now to allow, to open up so it can come forth. And when we do that, when we allow that sovereign entity that we are to come forth, to pour in, to sit, and to operate this human vehicle, and to lead the force. And we, each and every one of us is a leader of our own selfhood. But the problem that we're facing here is that we're not aware of our wholeness. And so we are operating from a very, very diminished capacity of our energetics and our consciousness. When we tap into our sovereign, formless ocean of intelligence, that which lives within us, that which is now bubbling and fermenting, migrating and penetrating into this world through us, the more we call it, the more we invite it, the deeper we go to listen to it, the more it comes forth to accompany us in our human. It's a relationship, my beloved family. It's a relationship. The coronavirus is simply another reflection of where we're at when it comes to the relationship with life itself. Okay? Let us lay aside for now all of the big words. Let's just talk about life itself. Is that simple enough? We have a relationship with it. And really, it depends on us. What are we investing? How are we cultivating? How are we nurturing this relationship? What are we giving into this relationship is what's coming back to us. Okay? Humanity has become so accustomed to the social order of the day. And even those of us who consider themselves outside the box are still way in it because we have to take care of business. We have to survive. And suddenly such a calling to stay home, it's very uncomfortable to a lot of people. Well, for me, it's very natural. There's nothing uncomfortable with that. I lived like that and I did not need no corona and no cataclysmic event. And I lived like that in the woods for 16 years. And that what though gave me the opportunity to access, to penetrate through all those layers of genetic density, of the ego-human historical genetic memory that is stored in our DNA, that is crystallized in our DNA. And now it's time to break down those patterns. And this is one of those breakthroughs that is necessary for humanity. It is necessary for humanity. Until we learn to create change, to choose from the unknown, to stop looking back into our history and repeat the same patterns, until we learn to do it consciously and at will. Because when we do, we're not going to need those wake-up calls anymore. Because the awakening is going to reach such a critical mass. It's going to reach a point of no return. And then we're going to need less and less of those wake-up calls that suddenly come as a surprise to humanity and are demanding from us. It's like mama saying, okay, kids, go to your rooms right now. I need to clean up the house. That's what it is. Mama Earth, that is the host, is telling us, kids, go to your rooms. If you're not helping me clean up, at least don't disturb me. Go to your rooms. Come on. I need to clean up the house. And indeed, we go to the rooms. We go to the rooms. But look what happens. Suddenly, the levels of toxicity are going down. So imagine if we don't need to go to the room. Instead, we help mama to clean up the house. We're all here have that intent. But perhaps it's time for us to become more creative, to listen deeper, to see what else we can do. And it's not about doing out there, it's about doing in here. Because this is where life is catalyzing us, is pushing us right now to go in here, not out there, in here. Why? Because I've learned through my experience and through my process as I'm developing this relationship with the essence of life, with life as a force, not as a form, as a force, as a formless fluid intelligence that is everywhere. Now, when we sit and soak in this ocean and allow ourselves to absorb it, it will tell us gently the truth that was hidden from us all along. Truth that was hidden from us due to the genetic density, opaque, dense layers of genetic memory, accumulations piled from separation, from disconnection, from competitions and wars and conflicts and traumas, survival. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it served us very well. But right now, it's a game changer. It's time to change the game. Because home game is coming in to the picture. And it's making itself known. And there are principles. There are codes of conduct. There is a divine order. There are attitudes. There are feelings involved. Paradigms, ideas, thought forms involved. Imaginations, breathing patterns that can change our life. It can shift everything. And it's becoming more and more powerful, and it's becoming more and more simple, and more direct, and more in our face. It's coming to meet us halfway. So when we make a step towards it, into ourselves, it'll make two and come to the surface. So there is this back and forth to begin with, but at some point, it's becoming more and more immediate, instantaneous, and present right here, right now, right where we are. Because we're making it. Because we are inviting it, invoking it, and reclaiming it through our practice. And so this is our practice. And it is a self-initiatory, independent practice of our own spirituality as individuals. Because with all the stories that we told ourselves here in this world, there is one point that we kept saying and heard in every story, but we never really took it all the way. And it is that the kingdom of heaven is living within you. It's that God is within you. And I'm coming to learn from my own experience as someone who is taking it all the way and coming back to the community to share it, back to the family to share it, is that the only way out is in. So we're here just giving that service for us so we can remember and increase and reinforce directional movement inwardly to that which lives within us, that which is now awakening, that which is now beginning to move and getting ready to take this whole stage and transform it from a mental, emotional, and physical prison into a spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional facility for the beloved, benevolent one. So, from a prison that was controlled, dominated by the dark force, to a facility that facilitates the benevolent force. Now, having to say that, both of those forces are inside our consciousness. And I cannot stress that enough, my dear family. I cannot repeat that enough for us to understand that these two forces are inside our consciousness. That means that these two forces are both playing roles in our divine process here. So for this aspect of us, which I know very well, I've been working for years and years and years to educate and to put in its proper place. So it is right now less and less jumping to try and repeat that pattern of trying to separate these two forces, or trying to turn around and leave one of these forces behind, and you know which one I'm talking about, or trying to point fingers at that force and blame it or judge it in whatever way. This force, in fact, as much as it became twisted and perverted and warped and controlling and dominating and corrupt and dark, still it is in fact benign, because it is lost. It is lost. It truly believes in what it does. It truly believes that that's the only way to survive. And can we blame it? We've played on both of those riversides many, many times, because it's all happening inside us. It's all us. So as we make our choices, when we mature, when we grow, when we're ready to illuminate those dark chambers, to embrace and transform this dark force in us that is operating from the illusion of separation, survival, and fear and co-reaction. When we are embracing it, when we call upon our true sovereign self to show us, to teach us from within how to synthesize those forces, this is where the liberation is, my dear friends. This is where the transformation is. Not in the separation, not in the trying to be positive and leave behind the negative, but in the fusion of these two. In the fusion of those two, there is suddenly the third sphere opening unto us. Suddenly there is this new space opening unto us. It's a new heart space. It's a new sphere. And suddenly we start to feel the shadowy outlines of the magnificent, sovereign, multidimensional entity that we are coming forth. It is the one who is neither nor, it is both in one. It is transcendent to all of that. It is transcendent to everything in time, space, energies, and matter. It is transcendent to duality, created it, and it is using it for its self education, learning, exploration, and ultimately creation. In mastering life making, this is what we are, my friends. And this is what life is here to remind us right now. This is why it is so intense. This is our opportunity. Let us not miss it. Stay another day, stay another week, 2 weeks, a month. In the light of all eternity, it will be worth it. If we can make another penetration deeper into our formless sovereign entity and bring it forth, and then when we go out to the streets, we bring that with us to bed stuff, we will know it was worth it. And I'm looking forward to physically give you a hug, but I'm not in a rush. So, having to say that, I hope this helped a little bit or put some more light on it, this angle. So, let us sit back and relax the body, keep the back straight and feet on the ground, or in whatever position that you're comfortable. As long as you feel aligned and alert, yet relaxed. Close your eyes and turn your gaze inwardly. Gather all the attention to the heart center. Into a focal point of concentration at the core, at the inner, non-physical core of your heart center. And feel as if you threw a tiny rock into that core. And feel and imagine this tiny rock hitting the very center of the clear lake of your heart space. And imagine those ripples. Clear, transparent ripples. Moving into your heart when you inhale through the nose, deep, and moving from your heart when you exhale through the mouth. When you inhale, those waves, those ripples are coming in from all around, from all that is, from all eternity, deep through your heart into your inner being. And when you exhale from your heart, those ripples move and expand to all eternity all around. Shifting our perception from the physical to the non-physical as we go along the process. Allowing our perception to shift and allowing our awareness to expand and to become increasingly aware of the formless presence within and all around. and moving into our inner feeling world. Just pure feeling. Just pure awareness. Just pure presence. Nobody around. Not even our body. Just pure consciousness. Just listen. Just observe. What is? What is existing here, now? And feel it. Sense it. And connect with it. Through the heart. Connect with this omnipresence. And become it. Feel this connection through your heart with your beloved source, directly from within. Feel that you are arriving deeper, deeper, and that you are arriving right in front of the beloved benevolent source. And allow this connection to expand. And feel that you can let go, that you can surrender, and allow yourself to be carried by the loving, oceanic, formless arm of the beloved, benevolent, one and only original source of all that is, all that we are, all that I am, here now. Feel the sanctuary of the omnipresence, the all-inclusive presence of divine love. And feel a sense of coherence in the texture, in the fabric, fine-grained fabric of this presence, the prima materia, the core fabric from which all life is made. Nothing is outside of this presence. There is not one thing, regardless of its behavior, regardless of what it does, how strayed it is, how darkened, how lost, and how forgotten. It is never outside of this presence, presence of the beloved source, the formless, oceanic presence of divine love. Feel it, sense it, and allow it to become illuminated in your awareness as you breathe it through your heart. Breathe this ocean of divine essence in and on, and feel that you are rehydrating yourself with this essence. Inhale it in, and when you exhale, send it to your send it to your ego, send it to your fear, send it to your mind, send it to your emotions, send it to your body, send it to your DNA, send it to your central nerve system, send it to your brain. Allow it to fulfill every cell, every molecule, every atom of your human existence on earth as you breathe it in and on. And when you feel soaked in it, see where else would you like to direct it? Where else would you like to send it and focus it? And allow yourself to do so, guided by your true sovereign self. Use your inner guidance to deepen into your experience as we're doing together focused transmissions with each other. And then from here, as we build our vortex synergy to our whole human family on earth, nature, for a smooth transition and smooth shift for everyone. Let us remember what we are. Let us remember where we are coming from, why we're here, what is our purpose, and where we're going from here. But this is just another step on the way in this, our epic journey as sovereign entities of the central universe, occupying a human form, living on Earth these days. Each and every one of us is an immortal, divine, magnificent treasure, pure, perfect offspring of the beloved, benevolent, original source of all that is, all that we are, all that I am. Let us remember our story, not from the perspective of our ego, for it is indeed limited and no longer serving us, but rather from the perspective of our sovereign soul. For when we do remember our journey from that perspective, we are rewriting history. We're changing our past and our future, here and now. Allow ourselves to gently re-emerge to the human, yet remain in the presence. As you open your eyes, allow your focus not to go to anything physical, but remain focused on the formless that unifies all the physical objects and forms into one consolidated being. Feel it with your eyes open. This is a great moment for us, my beloved family. There is no force that can truly separate us. I will see you next time. And thank you so much.